Welcome back. Now we answer questions we received from you, our viewers. If you have a question, visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com. Dr. Shabir, the question we have here is, what happens to Muslims when Christ returns?
So that's an interesting question. In Muslim narratives about eschatology, we have the general understanding that Jesus, on whom be peace, will descend from the heavens. He will arrive in a place near Tel Aviv. He will pray there with the Muslims in a mosque. And the Muslims will offer him to lead the prayer, but he will say, no, imamukum minkum, one of you should be the leader of your group. And after he has prayed with the Muslims, he will go out and he will slay the Antichrist. It's almost, he doesn't have to slay the Antichrist, because in the Muslim narrative, the Antichrist will melt in his presence. Nonetheless, he will spare him as the final blow, and peace would reign for several years. So in this Muslim expectation, Jesus, on whom be peace, is a Muslim himself. He's a submitter to God. He is a prophet and messenger of God. And being now coming back in the current era, he would naturally follow the way that has been taught by our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the universal world prophet. And it's basically the same way that Muslims are already following. So Jesus would fit in nicely among the Muslims, and nothing really would happen to the Muslims.
I think this is a Christian asking this question, and maybe thinking about their understanding of when Christ returns, and therefore, you know, what would happen to Muslims then? Yeah, so the Christian understanding is that Jesus is returning as the judge of the world. In Acts of the Apostles, the Apostle Paul is shown to be saying, you know, that God has appointed a man to judge the world. So Jesus will come back as a judge in that time, and he will, other passages of the Bible say, he will reward people for their good deeds and punish others for their bad, and so on. Maybe a Christian might be thinking, if we take that literally, it looks like Muslims are going to be really in for a shock when Jesus returns. But that is not the Muslim understanding. Of course, not all Christians take that return of Jesus in such a literal manner, and many Christians are open to the possibility of people outside of the Christian faith being saved as well. So that's an ongoing discussion. Does the Quran explicitly say that Jesus will return, and does it include that entire narrative that you described?
No, that entire narrative is actually outside of the Quran. There's only some vague reference in the Quran that have been interpreted, two references, in fact, that have been interpreted to indicate that Jesus will come back. One is a verse in Surah 4, is verse number 159, which says, وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ. There is no person of the book except that will believe in him prior to his death. But this is a little vague in that it's not clear whose death is being referred to. Is it the death of the person of the book, so that this person of the book before dying will believe in Jesus? Or is it a reference to Jesus's death, meaning that he hasn't died yet, but when he comes back and before he dies, everyone from among the people of the book will believe in him at that time. So because of this vagueness, we cannot say that this definitively proves that Jesus is returning. Another passage in the Quran is in the 41st chapter, or rather the 39th chapter, the 41st verse. Now my memory is a little vague. You see, I'm getting old. So nonetheless, that verse says, وَإِنَّهُ لَعِلْمُ لِلسَّاعَةِ. He is a sign of the hour. So what does that mean? Does it mean that when Jesus comes back, that will indicate that the hour is close? It could mean that, but one cannot say definitively that it means that.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you for your time, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe. And please donate to support our work at QuranSpeaks.com.